Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I'm David Rodriguez.
And I'm Hillary Rodriguez.
And in this family game review, we're going to be reviewing Grammatical Nonsense. I just held that up, even though there's probably a picture right about here somewhere.
And also the flash of holding it up.
Yeah.
You can't really read it.
It didn't work great. That could be.
Anyways.
So anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so this game, it doesn't really have a theme per se. You are basically competing to try to make the first sentence that's at least 7 words long. And to show you how that works, let me take you to the gameplay video. Okay, so I have Grammatical Nonsense all set up to play. I've shuffled the cards. Each player would have a hand of 7 cards. I'm not going to do different players because it's not really necessary to show you how this game works. So in your hand, you'll have a variety of different words, and they'll tell you if it's an adjective, for instance, or a verb, what have you. And it'll usually have a picture of some sort that is supposed to be evocative of the word. Not always. Sneakily doesn't have one. Nor does and or he, because that'd be kind of boring. But some of them do, and it'll tell you a little bit of a definition of what the word is, which is fairly nice. So on your turn, you're going to draw a card, put it in your hand, and then you are going to play a card. Now, this one actually did have a special one, so I'll tell you about that. But when you play a card, you're just going to put one of your cards down in front of you that you think you can use to make a sentence. So I'm going to go ahead, let's see. I'm going to put and down because I feel like you can almost always use an and. This special card I have, there's a few different ones in the game. This one will flip the direction in which players take their turns. The player would have gone next draws 2 cards. If there are only 2 players, you both draw 2 cards. So simple as that. Now, if I didn't like any of the cards in my hand, I could also choose to discard my entire hand and draw up again, but I would only draw 6 this time. So I'd have 1 minus my starting hand, and then I had to pick from there and choose for the next turn. So it just keeps going around and around until someone has made a sentence that is grammatically correct, that is at least 7 words long. I'll show you some of the other specials if I can find them. So this one is a quick draw, lets you draw 3 cards. This one, pick an animal, play this card as a noun representing the animal, so you could choose any animal you like. There's a lot of animal cards, which I think is supposed to, appeal maybe to kids a little more. Let's see. I feel like there was more than that, but maybe I'm wrong. Party favor. Look at the top 5 cards of the deck. Put 1 in your hand, then put the rest back on top of the deck in any order. Pick a player. Whenever that player draws a card, you draw a card. Whenever you draw a card, so do they. Let's see if there's any other specials in here. Double decker. Everybody draws 2 cards. You may play an extra card this turn. It's another double decker. I might have hit all the different varieties here. Let's see. All right, I think that's it. It's possible I flipped through one, but I think that's it. Anyway, that's really the basics. That's all there really is to it in terms of the basic game. You can add your own rules. I mean, specifically talks in the rule pamphlet here about putting your own spin on things, using these cards in your own way. But as far as the basic rules and how the game plays, that is it. So let me go to our final thoughts. Alright, I hope that gameplay video is helpful to you. Now we're going to talk about our final thoughts on the game. Starting with the artwork. So this game doesn't have tons of artwork on it. The animals and other nouns have sort of like a silhouetted picture, so you get an idea of what they are, which is fine. I mean, you can kind of tell what it is for the most part, but that's really all that's there. As far as that goes, though, it's done pretty well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not like a lot of artwork to talk about with this. The animals and then the wild card is kind of it. So there's not a lot to talk about with artwork on this. The components, all it is a deck. So the cards are a decent card stock, and they shuffle well. So
yeah, I actually really like the cards. They've got the nice linen finish, so they've got like a cool texture to them, and usually those are generally pretty sturdy. So that really is a component in the game. The rule book is actually just a fold out pamphlet, which granted it is not a very complicated thing on its own, so you don't really need a book. Usually pamphlets would annoy me, but in a game this light, it's probably fine. As far as theme goes, It's not a game with a theme. It's just not. It's a game where you're making sentences, so I guess your sentences are the theme. So have at it, but I mean, that's just what it is. We always talk about themes, so there you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not right there. So.
It's just not, sorry.
Gameplay, the concept of it is pretty easy. Drawing cards and laying them out until you can hopefully be the first to make a sentence using at least 7 words. And you also have to have a noun or pronoun and a verb. And you can't end with a conjunction. So the idea of the game is to help teach grammar and or not punctuation, but to help teach grammar.
Yeah. I mean, it is extremely simple to learn how to play, and I can see it being fairly helpful in learning about the different parts of a sentence. So I mean, there's not a ton I'll say about the gameplay of that without getting into the final thoughts of this game. I think. I mean, it's very, very simple as far as what you need to do. So final thoughts. What is not simple is actually creating a sentence, because there's not enough, prepositions and articles, so it's very possible to just not come across those, and it is very hard to make a sentence without this. I mean, someone will get them, but it's possible that you never will, or you'll have, so many words down that now it's like, now I need 3 of them, and, good luck with that, which can be kind of tricky. Now, this game is designed by someone who had, I don't know the specifics, but some learning issues. And so he designed a game that would be helpful to him. And there are a lot of different kinds of learning issues out there. So it could be that that this game is going to be very helpful to some people with certain learning issues. Also, even in the rules, it talks about, really using this as a tool to create your own activities as well. And I think for that, using it as a tool to create activities, especially because there are packs, I think it says on the side, there's a math pack, punctuation, prefix and suffix pack, all kinds of stuff like that. If you use it as a tool like that, this is a really good set, I think. But the game is presented in the book. I just don't think it really works. It is, because you cannot get those parts of sentences, or at least you can't count on getting those parts of sentences, it's aggravating. It's aggravating, and it's a very simple game. So it shouldn't be that aggravating, especially with someone trying to learn. I don't know. It's not fun because it is too random in how you'll get those things, and if you don't get them, you just can't do it. You just can't. So, with that being said, if you're getting this as a toolbox for you to work with somebody, and maybe use this game in part, but alter it for your own needs in some way. Like I was thinking that if they had like a separate stack of your prepositions and articles that you could just draw from freely and use them where you needed to, that would take away a lot of the frustration. It might also make it too easy. I don't know, but something like that might have worked. But if you can use this as a toolbox like that to teach, I think it's great for that. I can't keep all the different the names of the parts of a sentence in my head sometimes, and I was an English major, so there you go. As far as that goes, I mean, it's a good refresher as far as that goes. So in that case, if you're using it like that, I would give this a 7. But if you're buying this thinking you're going to play the game as written and enjoy it, I think it's a 4. I want to say that is not the case. I just, it can work if you're lucky. I could see a kid putting together a cool sentence that's kind of funny and being happy about that. But I don't know that that's going to happen in more games than not, necessarily. When we played it, I think everyone at the end was just kind of like, ugh. So, yeah, I hate to say that. As a game in itself, as it's written, a 4. As a tool, in using it however you need to help a specific person, I think it's great. As far as that goes, it's a 7. That's my thoughts on it.
Sally, I agree. I I know I've mentioned this before, but I'm very severely dyslexic, so I went through resource English, and so I actually never learned nouns, verbs, adjectives, any of that. So I know if a sentence makes sense to me or not, but I don't know if I'm using the proper anatomy of a sentence. Playing this game brought me back to that frustration of school that I struggled with. And so it made the game not fun at all for me. I can see it being a learning tool, just using the deck and like helping kids, kind of almost similar to like a special flashcard deck, to help them learn the, nouns and pronouns, and, maybe have fun and do like little Mad Libs with it. But as far as if you're doing something like that, then like probably a six or seven for me. As far as the actual game play itself as it is, for me, it's like 1 or 2. Like it seriously brought me back to the frustrations that I had in school, and I did not have fun with it at all. Like I just was getting too frustrated. So.
Yeah. So I mean that's just kind of how it goes. Kind of a bummer as far as the rules in the book. If you do need a tool to help someone learn about the parts of a sentence and writing sentences, or you want to use them as flashcards, good for that. It's a nice little set as far as that goes. Or if you feel like taking those rules and altering them to maybe work out better for you and yours, it can work out that way as well. The game is written. It's just not a hit with us for either of us to different degrees, but still, it's unfortunate. That's how it goes, though. So, if this review has been helpful for you in deciding whether or not Grammatical Nonsense is for you, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can be alerted the next time we put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye.